Welcome everyone to Chicagoland for the Tropicana 400. We are here today for the 18th race of the 2003 Winston Cup season at the halfway point because we only have 18 races after this out of our 36 race season. So starting on the pole today, Matt Kenseth, and alongside him, Dale Jarrett in the 88. Neither of these guys got a win, so both hungry for their first victory of the 03 season. Starting third, Rusty Wallace, and alongside him, Jimmy Johnson. Starting fifth, Ryan Newman in a special Sony DVD paint scheme one-race deal with that sponsorship. It looks very cool in my opinion. And alongside him, Tony Stewart. Starting seventh, Greg Biffle, the rookie, and alongside him, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Starting ninth, Mark Martin in a special throwback scheme to his days running the Valvoline car. He's sponsored by Viagra, but he's got the Valvoline-inspired paint scheme. And running at the top 10, Bobby Labonte. Looking at the field, the Gorgo homers that made the race include two Richard Petty cars, the 43 of John Andretti, the 44 Christian Fittipaldi, the 33 of Kerry Earnhardt. He's making his first attempt with Richard Childress Racing, and if he does good enough, he might be able to get more rides in the future, or even a full-time ride in 2004. We'll see Steve Park in the 41 qualified, as well as Mike Skinner, Jimmy Spencer in the 7. Ken Schrader qualified on time. When Casey Mears broke a streak of not being able to qualify for races, he made the race today, starting 38th. As for the drivers that did not qualify for the race, you got Derek Cope in the 37, Larry Foyt in the 14, David Rudiman in the 04 making his first attempt for a part-time Morgan McClure Racing team. He expects to run the next few races in a row as a part-time test team. And once again, Todd Bodine. So I think Todd Bodine's future at the 54 team has to be in question after missing the last 4 or 5 races. So it'll be very interesting to see if he can qualify for next few races, or will he miss out more? We'll have to find out. But now we've got the field set and looking at our Gorgo home drivers. Let's get this 27-lap race underway, get the engines fired, and get the green flag waving at Chicagoland. Matt Kenseth and Dale Jarrett leading them off to start this 27-lap event. Green flag at Chicagoland. And a good start there from the 17 car. That bottom line clearly working. Jimmy Johnson now, he's going down to the bottom line. Whoa there. Ricky Craven, he went to the pits and we almost just saw a wreck. And some of those cars got loose there. Look at that, it's going 3 wide. And Mark Martin, he's dropping like a stone. Something must be up with his car. Oh, man, they're great racing, super risky. Right now, Matt Kenseth, he's leading after 1 lap, but as you can tell, a caution definitely seems like it's going to come out soon. I mean, these drivers racing super risky. Welcome everyone to New Hampshire for the New England 300, the 19th race and 2003 NASCAR season. We're here to bring you some action today for this 45-lap event. Now starting on the pole, Bobby Labonte in the 18 Interstate Batteries car, alongside him Tony Stewart, his teammate, and the 20 Home Depot Monte Carlo. Starting third, Rusty Wallace in the 2 Miller Lite Dodge Intrepid, and alongside him Kevin Harvick. Starting fifth, Ryan Newman once again in the Sony DVD car, and alongside him, Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 Dodge Intrepid. Starting 7th is Bill Elliott, Jeremy Mayfield's teammate. Starting 8th, Dale Jarrett. Or starting 8th is Jimmy Johnson, sorry. Starting 9th, Greg Biffle, the rookie, and running at the top 10 is Dale Jarrett. So looking through the field, looking at the Gorgo homers, John Andretti qualified, Steve Park qualified for the race. Kerry Earnhardt, they actually decided to put him back in the 33 car and have him attempt another race, and he qualified again on time, so good job for him. He's made 2 out of 2 races in that 33 car. David Rudiman in the 04 making his second attempt of the year, and he qualified for the race, so this is going to be his first race of the year. Todd Bodine, the 54, qualified, as well as Ken Schrader in the 49, Casey Mears in the 74, and Mike Skinner in the 4 car. So those are the guys who made the race. As far as the guys who did not make the race, we have a few drivers. Jimmy Spencer's probably the most notable of these drivers, as well as Larry Foyt in the 14 car, Derek Cope in the 37 car. Morgan Shepherd attempted his first race in the 89 car. Morgan Shepherd did not qualify. So those 4 drivers, unfortunately, not be able to race today. But we do have a field of 42 drivers set to go head-to-head for 45 laps. Now we've got the field set. Let's get the green flag waving, the engines fired, start off this race at New Hampshire. Pace car out on pit road. Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart, the Joe Gibbs Racing teammates, leading them off at the start of this race. Green flag at New Hampshire. And a good start there from the 18 car. Look at that. Pulling ahead of his teammate. But it seems like he's a little bit faster than the Penske cars of Rusty Walls and Ryan Newman, because he's pulled ahead of them. Kevin Harvick tried to just go down and take the low line there. And now he's going to be able to do it, but he almost just ran into Rusty Walls. So Bobby Labonte, a good block there on the low side to prevent Kevin Harvick from making the pass. Looks like Bobby Labonte's going to lead the first lap. Look at this, 3 wide. Very interesting start to the race. Right now, Bobby Labonte's pulled out to a small lead. Dale Jr. up to second now. But they just hit 3 wide there. And wow, looks like we got a caution already. Robbie Gordon's got some damage. Jeff Burton, David Rudiman, Elliott Sadler. So let's take a replay, see what happened. All right, so this is what happened to Elliott Sadler. We'll see he got caught up behind Kurt Busch. And he got turned by David Rudiman into Rudiman's teammate, the 4 car of Mike Skinner. And Robbie Gordon got some damage too. What happened to Robbie Gordon? Oh, this is an ugly wreck. Ron Fellows, look at this. Boom! Ron Fellows and Robbie Gordon straight into the wall. Thankfully, Robbie Gordon looks like he's okay because he drove off completely fine there. Todd Bodine's got some damage too. Jeez. It looks like Jeff Gordon turned Jeff Burton around into Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth won last race, dominant fashion, leading every lap. So yeah, 3 wrecks on the first lap. How about that? All right, so on board with Todd Bodine, you can see the 04 David Rudiman there. Boom. Todd Bodine spun out David Rudiman. So in his first start, the 04 car has already caused a wreck. So not good for David Rudiman. Right now, Bobby Labonte's leading. And Dale Jr. just squeezed on by those 2 cars of Tony Stewart and Kevin Harvick there to take second place. Lap 6, green flag once again. And here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. already going to the low side for the pass. So yeah, Dale Jr. taking the lead right away from Bobby Labonte. And down here, looks like Tony Stewart's trying to make the pass on Kevin Harvick with Ryan Newman assisting him. But Ryan Newman's going to dump Tony Stewart and go to the low side himself. So we roll through the pack here. What the? 3 wide already between some of the cars that wrecked earlier. So still a lot of racing left, but I tell you, it's looking pretty aggressive as Dale Jr. has pulled out to a 2.5 second lead or so over Bobby Labonte on lap 7. So on lap 9, Dale Jarrett blows an engine, and he stops in the track, which will cause the caution to come out. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading at lap 9 with the caution coming out. Pit stops here on lap 9. It looks like most of the field coming in. For some reason, Jimmy Johnson, Bill Elliott, and a few others have decided to stay out. So let's see if that strategy pays off, or will they come and pit? Because for some reason, some of these drivers like to wait a lap to pit, which I really don't understand. I don't think the 1 lap tire advantage is worth it. As Dale Jr., he's pulling off already. So Dale Jr. having a really good race right now. But it looks like Bobby Labonte just beat him. Lap 11, and Jimmy Johnson leading him off for the restart as Bill Elliott second and Mark Martin third in the special number 6 Viagra scheme. Martin goes low right away. Looks like he's going to try and pass Bill Elliott. Martin has 2 wins, but these last few races, he hasn't had a lot of luck in. Last race, he crashed in and got a pretty low finish. He's actually the lowest score. He's the lowest car on the lead lap. And here comes Jack Sprague, actually. Jack Sprague going to go make the pass in his number 0 Pontiac. So right now, Jimmy Johnson still out at front. And Jimmy Johnson will be leading at lap 12. Lap 15, unexpected pit stop for Terry Labonte. And look at this, Jack Sprague making the pass on Jimmy Johnson. Jack Sprague's actually had a pretty good last few weeks. He's been on a roll, getting top 10 finishes at Daytona and at Chicagoland, and now he's out up front. So really good performance from Jack Sprague here. He is going to be leading, and I think this might be the first lead lap of his career. So yeah, Jack Sprague out up front, Jimmy Johnson second, Bill Elliott third. Kerry Earnhardt is up to 4th place, and Mark Martin running out to top 5. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the first of the cars to pit. He's in, looks like he just got 8th place there. Caution on lap 20 for Robbie Gordon. He blew his engine and stalled out in the middle of the track, so that will bring out another caution. So similar to what happened with Dale Jarrett, but he actually stalled out in the middle of the track. So definitely the caution flag thrown to make sure nobody hit him. As you can see there, he had some damage from that first wreck, and I guess that might have been what caused the engine failure. Right now, Jack Sprague, the leader. Terry Labonte, he's 1 lap down. And look who's made it in the top 5. Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's the man on the mission. He started like 14th place after that restart on lap 12, and now he's up to 5th. So he looks like he has a very strong car, and especially with those fresh tires as well. And I think Tony Stewart is 2nd place out of the drivers that chose to pit. So let's see if these guys decide to come down pit road. Right now, Jack Sprague, your leader after 21 laps. So very interesting. Jack Sprague, Jimmy Johnson, and the rest of the cars that did not pit the first cycle have chosen to stay out once again. It looks like they fixed the problems on Robbie Gordon's car, which is interesting. I thought his day was done for sure after he stopped in the middle of the track. Maybe it was a fuel issue. I don't know. But yeah, I thought for sure Robbie Gordon's day was going to be done. It looks like they decided to take off the hood of the car to prevent that sheet metal from locking up. I don't know. Very interesting. So right now, Jack Sprague, your leader. Headed back to green on lap 23 here. Jack Sprague, your leader. Jimmy Johnson second. Bill Elliott third. And Terry Labonte and Robbie Gordon are a lap down. So good start there from Jack Sprague, forcing Jimmy Johnson to compete with Terry Labonte for the low side. Teammates colliding there. Red flag here for a huge pileup on lap 24. Check this out. Kenny Wall spins Robbie Gordon into the 12 car Ryan Newman, and then pileup occurs. Jimmy McMurray flipped over by Jeff Gordon. Jimmy McMurray is having a pretty good run in the top 15, and now his day is probably over after getting just destroyed there by the 24 car of Jeff Gordon. Let's take another view there from the 24's perspective. You can see the wreck starting to happen on board with Jeff Gordon, and nowhere to go. He tries to slow down, but McMurray gets nailed right before that, and it causes McMurray to turn into the 24 car. Kyle Petty also has damage. Robbie Gordon, again, in his 3rd accident of the day. Ricky Craven, Casey Mears in the 74 car, his day's done. Jeff Burden. So lots of guys destroyed for that wreck. Jack Sprague, currently your leader. Jimmy Johnson second, and Bill Elliott third. So in lap 28, a few of the cars decided to pit. Jimmy Johnson, Mark Martin, Joe Nemechek. But interesting enough, it looks like 2 cars out of that pack, or 3 cars, I should say, out of that pack have decided to stay out. And that is Jack Sprague in the 0, Bill Elliott in the 9, and Kerry Earnhardt in the 33. Oh, Dave Blaney in the 77. He also decided to stay out. So 4 cars have not pit yet, and they need a pit soon. I don't think they can make it off of just their original fuel and gas. They have to be running out empty right now. Lap 31, green flag once again. Jack Sprague, your leader. Bill Elliott second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. up to 3rd now with Jimmy Johnson deciding to pit. And we got a few lap down cars here, obviously causing some traffic. Can Jack Sprague pull off the upset of the century? I mean, we're only 3 years into the century, but it would be a huge upset to see that 0 car get into victory lane. But he's got to contend with a few guys, especially Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's looking like a beast. He just passed Bill Elliott for second there. And he's been climbing his way up faster than anybody else. Tony Stewart's probably the 2nd fastest of those guys. And then you got Bobby Labonte and Jeremy Mayfield also climbing up. So yeah, Bill Elliott just got passed by Dale Jr. And Jack Sprague has a solid lead there, but for how long? Caution on lap 37. Steve Park has a blown engine. He stopped on the middle track. That's the 3rd time that's happened today. This is ridiculous. Right now, Jack Sprague is your leader, but I think he might be regretting this as Dale Earnhardt Jr. is caught up to him. Lap 40 now. When we come back to green, it'll be lap 41. It's going to take a miracle for Jack Sprague to win this race. Dale Jr. is a more experienced driver. He's got better tires, and he also does not have to worry about fuel running out. Green flag here. And Jack Sprague gets a good restart on lap 41. Just 4 laps left. That's all the time he needs to just hold off Dale Jr. and get the shock victory. If a caution does come out, it might be the end of the race. Look at this. Kerry Earnhardt in 4th place. He's been doing super good. He's been holding on to his position. I give that young man a lot of credit. Jack Sprague, he just needs to hold off that 8 car if he is going to win, because that 8 car is probably the biggest threat. I don't see Bill Elliott or any of these other guys really being able to pass Jack Sprague, but that 8 car, he's got the best looking car on the field. Lap 43 and Jack Sprague is out of field. Same with Bill Elliott. This is a game changer. Both these guys out of field. They could not make it. And who's the leader now? It's none other than Dale Earnhardt Jr. Final lap for Dale Earnhardt Jr. You can call this one a victory lap because look how far away he is from 2nd place Tony Stewart. He has just pulled out to a huge 5-second lead. And Tony Stewart, he's charging, but he really does not have enough momentum or time to get him where he wants to be. And you have tough luck for Jack Sprague. He was running a great race and really proved himself to be worthy of that contract extension that he just signed. He'll be racing for that team in 2004, but right now all the focus is on Dale Jr. Checkered flag for that 8 team. Dale Jr. returning to victory lane this season. That's going to be his 2nd victory. 2nd place was Tony Stewart. 3rd, Jimmy Mayfield for his best finish of the season. 4th, Bobby Labonte, the pole sitter. And it looks like 5th was Rusty Wallace. Welcome everyone to Pocono Motor Speedway for the 2nd race at this track, the Pennsylvania 500. We're here today for the 20th race in the 2003 Winston Cup season. Starting on pole today, Michael Waltrip in a special Napa Noah Wafers scheme. Alongside him, Ryan Newman, the Rocket Man, starting 2nd. Starting 3rd and 4th, we got a couple of rookies on row 2, Greg Biffle in the 16 car and Jim McMurray in the 42. Starting 5th, Bobby Labonte, last week's pole sitter. Alongside him, Jimmy Johnson. Starting 7th, Jerry Nadeau, a good starting spot for that driver. And starting 8th, 24 car of Jeff Gordon. Starting 9th, we got Tony Stewart in the 20 Home Depot car. Running at the top 10, our new points leader. He just took the points lead last week. That's going to be Rusty Wallace in the 2 Miller Lite Dodge Intrepid. So looking at the field, looking at the Gorgo homers that made the race, the 43 car of John Andretti made the race. The 4 car of Mike Skinner qualified on time. The 7 car of Jimmy Spencer qualified. 91 of Casey Atwood making a limited start. He qualified on time. Brett Bodine, the 11, missed the last few races, but he did indeed qualify on time. The 37 of Derek Cope. And the 74 of Casey Mears, who has a new sponsor, he qualified as well. As for the cars that did not qualify, Christian Fittipaldi in the 44 car. Larry Foyt in the 14 car did not qualify. The 54 of Ty Bodine did not qualify. And we had an attempt from the 60 car of David Green making his 2nd attempt of the year. He did not qualify for today's race. So now we've got the field set. Let's get this 30-lap event at Pocono started. Pace car headed down pit road. Michael Waltrip and Ryan Newman leading them off for the start of the 30-lap event. Green flag for the Pennsylvania 500. Coming down the front stretch here, and it seems to be deadlocked between the 15 and the 12, and the 15 is going to go in the middle, and that's going to make it 3 wide. Greg Biffle's now going to take advantage of that, and he's going to pass Michael Waltrip there. So now it's going to be between Greg Biffle and Ryan Newman. I don't think that was a smart move, as we got a wreck in the back. Huge wreck, car on his roof. That's Robbie Gordon. Greg Biffle around. Derek Cope has damage. Huge wreck. What just happened? Dale Jr. involved. Looks like Elliott Sadler got some damage. And it looks like Ryan Newman is pulled away. And oh no, Jerry Nadeau gets loose. Nadeau comes up and he's going to take out Michael Waltrip and Jimmy Johnson. Wow, 2 wrecks to start off the race. They're going 5 wide here. Jeez. So a chaotic start to the race. It looks like Ryan Newman's going to lead him back to the start. But let's take a look and see what happened on those 2 wrecks. So it looks like Jeremy Mayfield came down to block the 4 car. That sent the 4 of Mike Skinner into Robbie Gordon, taking out Elliott Sadler and Dale Jarrett. And watch this, just carnage. Robbie Gordon is hit by Elliott Sadler. That causes him to flip over. Look at how tight they're racing. There's like no space in between these guys whatsoever. And there's nowhere to go for Jerry Nadeau. And unfortunately, Michael Waltrip and Jimmy Johnson taken out as a result of that. It looks like Rusty Wallace, the points leader, got some damage too. Let's see, did these guys hit anybody? Oh, Jack Sprague came so close. So yeah, pretty chaotic start to the race. Right now, Ryan Newman leading after 2 laps. Green flag on lap 6 here. And Ryan Newman pulling out to another big lead. Looks like the high side now working for Bobby Labonte and Bill Elliott. As actually, it looks like Jamie McMurray's going to go to the low side and try and pass Biffle there, but I don't think he doesn't have enough room to do it. Ryan Newman leading right now. Let's see. Can the 16 find a way to get around Rocket Man Ryan Newman? Here comes Jamie McMurray. He's going to go to the low side. Can he get around the 16 there? Battle of the rookies. And it looks like McMurray's just going to get the nose under Biffle. But I don't think he's got enough momentum there. So right now, Ryan Newman, he's leading after 7 laps. And this total wreckfest of a race. Yellow flag on lap 10. Johnny Benson stopped on the track. He got spun around. And he got clipped by Dave Blaney. Unfortunately, I did not get footage of Johnny Benson, and I believe it was Brett Brodine who also spun with him. But Benson stopped on the track. He got clipped by Dave Blaney, and that's going to end Dave Blaney's day. So it looks like right now Ryan Newman's still your leader, Greg Biffle second, and Jimmy McMurray third. Green flag on lap 14. Greg Biffle your leader, but here comes Daytona 500 winner Ricky Rudd. He's going to go to the low side, try and make a pass for the lead on the rookie. And yeah, Ricky Rudd able to get around Greg Biffle for the top spot. Can he get a second win of the year? I don't know. I mean, I don't think the strategy of staying out is going to work. But who knows? I mean, it's Pocono, a very unpredictable race. Right now, Ryan Newman and Jamie McMurray starting to rocket pass. As we got a car around, it's Jerry Mayfield. He got spun by Jerry Nadeau there. Oh, man. Mayfield goes hard in the wall. We got another wreck. No caution. But looks like Mayfield and Nadeau got together. Mayfield able to save his car, but he got some serious damage there. That's definitely going to end his chances of getting a victory. No caution because he was in the infield, and there's really no debris. So we stay green, but definitely a chaotic race. It's not going to stay very green for long. Lap 15 and the caution comes out. Kurt Busch spins Mike Skinner around. And look at that. He just manages to save it, but they decided to throw the caution. Also, Ken Schrader hit the wall hard. So, yeah, definitely a very chaotic race. McMurray's on the apron. Something up with Jimmy McMurray's car. I don't know. But that's going to bring out the caution. So, yeah, Ricky Rudd, your leader, after 16 laps. Yep, everybody's pitting now, which is weird because some of the guys that pit last time are now pitting. Which really makes no sense. But I guess they're trying to maintain the advantage. So, yeah, very bizarre. The one guy that did not pit is Jeff Green. Matt Kenseth as well, he's not pitting either. McMurray pit last round. He actually decided to come back in 1 lap early. That's why he was slowing down there. So that's actually going to be a huge advantage for Jimmy McMurray because he's now way ahead of the pack. And he has fresher tires compared to guys like Kenseth or Green. So now we got the cars pitting down. Let's see who wins this race off pit road. It looks like it's going to be Ryan Newman just edging out Bobby Labonte there. Kurt Busch off as well. Yeah, everybody's coming out now. So really bizarre for some of these guys to decide to pit twice in a row, but strategy, I guess. So 3 cars decide not to pit. Technically, it's 2 cars. The 30 and the 17. The 42 pit 1 lap earlier, and he looks like a genius now. That's why he was slowed down. So Jimmy McMurray had probably the smartest move of the race. And Jeff Green is your leader after 17 laps. We come back to Green at lap 20, 10 laps left. Jeff Green, your leader, Matt Kenseth second, Jimmy McMurray third, and Ryan Newman fourth. Green flag at Pocono. Jeff Green would be a huge upset victory for that 30 team if they could get to victory lane. It could very well happen. He just has to hold out for a little bit longer and hope a couple cautions come out, as right now he has the advantage over Matt Kenseth there. Oh, McMurray just shoved Kenseth out of the way. And we got a caution. Another wreck. It's a big one. Greg Biffle involved. Ricky Craven. Kevin Harvick. So big wreck here. And Jeff Green is your leader. What happened? Let's take a replay. So it seems like Greg Biffle gets turned by Jack Sprague into Bill Elliott. And then Tony Stewart involved. Jeff Gordon. Jimmy Johnson. A couple drivers taken out. And then these guys wreck over here. Johnny Benson gets turned around. And up here, Ricky Craven clips Greg Biffle. Take them out of competition. So right now, against all odds, Jeff Green is your leader. He could very well walk away as the winner of the Pennsylvania 500. It's lap 29, and rain has started to come down. At the last second, it has started to rain. And NASCAR is going to end the race officially. Jeff Green is your winner. He gives Richard Childress his first win of the year and upset victory for that 30 team. Second place is the 42 of Jimmy McMurray. Third, Jack Sprague. So a very unusual top 3 there. Fourth, Kurt Busch. Fifth, Matt Kenseth. Sixth, Ricky Rudd. 7, Bobby Labonte. 8, Dale Jr. 9, Ryan Newman. And 10th, Jeff Gordon. So very crash-heavy race that saw quite a few incidents, and it's going to end under rain. NASCAR said they were willing to continue the race, but now the rain has started to come down. It's just too much because there's only 2 laps left anyway. So Jeff Green, your winner today. Congratulations to him. A big upset for that 30 AOL car. Welcome everyone to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for one of the biggest races in the NASCAR season. We're here today for the Brickyard 400 at Indy, race 21 in the 2003 Winston Cup season, and it's definitely going to be an exciting one. Starting on the pole today, Mark Martin in a special reverse paint scheme, alongside him Jimmy Johnson. Starting third, Sterling Marlin in the 40 Coors Light Dodge Interpreter, the best driver points-wise not to have a win this season. Maybe he can finally get the win here at Indianapolis. Starting fourth, Kevin Harvick, and starting fifth, Bill Elliott alongside him, Rusty Wallace. Starting seventh, is Dale Jr. in the 8, Budweiser Monte Carlo, and alongside him, Tony Stewart. Starting ninth, Jamie McMurray in a special throwback paint scheme in tribute to some of the older cars Chip Ganassi has run. And running out the top 10 is Ryan Newman in the number 12 car. So looking at the field, Gorgo homers, we had a lot of cars attempting today's race, but only a couple cars made it in. The 43 of John Andretti, the 44 car of Christian Fittipaldi, both those guys made it in to today's race, as well as a few others. Casey Mears in a 74 actually got a special one-race deal sponsorship with Aaron's for this race. Hideo Fukuyama qualified on time. Jimmy Spencer qualified on time. The 04 car of David Rudiman qualifying on time for today's race. And the 14 of Larry Foyt qualifying on time. As for the cars that did not qualify, Morgan Shepherd attempted his second race of the year today. He did not make it in, as well as Mike Skinner in the 4 car, so only one of the Morgan McClure cars makes it in. The 54 of Todd Bodine, the 11 car of Brett Bodine, he fails to make the race. The 02 car of Hermie Sadler, I believe the 49 of Ken Strader did not make it in as well. Let me go through and just make sure, because I don't have the list in front of me. I'm just doing this off of memory, but I do not believe the 49 car. Yeah, the 49 did not qualify, and I think that's everyone. I have the list. It should be displayed on the screen just in case I missed anybody. But that's going to be the field for today's race. 42 cars, And we got 16 laps here at the Brickyard. Let's get the engines fired and kick off the action at Indianapolis. Mark Martin and Jimmy Johnson leading them off for the start of this 16-lap event. Green flag for the Brickyard 400. Now Mark Martin, he's had a rough few weeks with a crash at Chicagoland and a mediocre finish last week at Pocono, as well as a mediocre finish at New Hampshire 2 weeks ago. And he needs to get a win or a good finish here to reclaim his spot towards the top of the points, and he's actually doing a pretty good job so far. He's established a small lead over Jimmy Johnson. Kevin Harvick up to third now. Sterling Marlin back to fourth. So right now, Mark Martin ahead of the pack. But here comes Kevin Harvick. He's going to make a pass on the low side to try and get past Jimmy Johnson. Can he get around him? He's got the nose under, so Johnson can't block, and it looks like, yeah, Kevin Harvick's going to take second place. So Harvick takes second, and right now, the number 6 Viagra Ford Taurus back up front. Mark Martin leading at Indianapolis. Lap 6 out of 16, and Kevin Harvick going for the pass on Mark Martin. This would be the first lead change of the day, and Kevin Harvick getting around the Viagra car. Jimmy Johnson, look at that. Jimmy Johnson just made a bold move to get in second, almost making contact with Mark Martin. So now Kevin Harvick, your leader. Let's run through the field. So yeah, Jimmy Johnson finding a way to get around the 6 car. Your top 3 now is Harvick, Johnson, and Martin. But Martin's still hanging on, trying to get past Johnson. A few more seconds for Kevin Harvick. Jimmy Johnson came very close to making the pass, but Harvick able to hold off the 48 car. And yeah, coming around the final turn here, or one of the final turns, it looks like Kevin Harvick will take home the checkered flag. He just has to make it just down this one stretch, and he gets his first one of the year. And yep, it's going to be official. Kevin Harvick taking home the checkered flag at the Brickyard, getting his first one of the year. Jimmy Johnson second. This is probably the closest he's come to getting a victory this year, and I have a feeling he will get a mark in the W column by the time this year ends. He's done a pretty good job. He's one of the best drivers not to have a win so far, and I feel like he will get a win soon. Mark Martin gets third place, the pole sitter. Rusty Wallace fourth, your points leader. He's been doing a really good job consistently getting top 10s these last few weeks. Dale Jr. fifth, Jamie McMurray sixth. He's going to be the rookie of the race. Bible Bonnie seventh. Billy 8th, Kurt Busch 9th. It looks like Sterling Marlin rounds up the top 10 there.